What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? So we're back with another question of the day. As you know, I do ask you guys to DM me, message me, tag me in questions that you want me to answer or give my perspective to. And the question that was asked to me today was, why is vengeance so appealing? That was the exact quote for the question. This person asked me, why is vengeance so appealing? And I asked them a follow up question, and I mean, what did you mean by that? And they said, in movies, in films, in mythologies, why do we gravitate? Why are we gravitated toward uh, messages, stories of vengeance, right? And the simple answer is payback is satisfactory, right? It satisfies a need, an urge to redistribute, or rather place the pain that you've been given back to the person that is giving it to you, right? In our day-to-day lives, we are traumatized, we are affected, we are penalized, we are hurt by people who sometimes are doing it unintentionally, sometimes they're doing it intentionally, right? Sometimes it's by coincidence or accidents, and sometimes it's intentional, right? Where they were deliberate in hurting you. And when this happens and they're unapologetic about it, then you want to give that back to them, right? It's not that you're letting them occupy your mind. It's not that you're letting them occupy or change your life, but they've given you a gift and you want to give that back to them, right? Whether it's a good gift, a bad gift, whether you make the most of it or not, when someone traumatizes you, when someone introduces pain, conflict, or hurt into your life, they have given you something. They have imparted something into you. And oftentimes, if not almost every time, there's not a way to give them the same thing they've given you without it costing you something, right? So a lot of times what we do is we learn to heal and move on in other ways so that we don't become like that person, right? Where we're focused solely on revenge, where we don't come into a situation where now we are being penalized, where we are losing because we have decided that we are going to solely focus on redistributing or distributing this pain back to the person who gave it to us. So a lot of times the best thing to do is let karma, let the universe deal with that person in that manner versus us doing it. So that is a long roundabout answer, so I apologize, right? Because it's probably going to be a long video, and I should have said that at the beginning. But that's why we're drawn to stories of vengeance. That's why we're drawn to stories of payback. That's why we're drawn to stories of people getting their licks in, right? Getting a revenge, right, so to speak, right? The John Wick is one of the best examples because something happened to him and he was able to redistribute that pain, right? He was able to pay that person back. So that's why we're drawn to these stories, because at the end of the day, inside of our day-to-day life, going tit for tat for somebody with somebody is very destructive. It's very counterproductive to your goal, to your healing process. And at the end of the day, it just creates a vicious cycle. So you have to be the one to decide to say, hey, I'm going to stop the cycle. I'm going to cut the cycle off. I'm not going to do to this person what they did to me, right? I'm not going to make this my sole effort, my sole focus, my sole mission, my sole purpose is not to get revenge. And here's the thing, as someone who struggled with that, and I'm being honest with you guys, right? I always am, and I'm open. As somebody who struggled with tit for tat, at the end of the day, it just leaves you hollow with the victory. Once you do get revenge, once you do tell them off like they told you off, once you do embarrass them like they embarrassed you, call them out, it's not like, okay, so what, you think there's going to be a big parade? You think that person's going to say, oh, now I see how I hurt you and I apologize? It's not going to be that, right? Only thing that's going to do is give you a momentary gratification, and you of you saying, oh, I got him back. Now after that moment, you're still going to have that hurt, You're still going to have that pain of whatever happened to you. That person cheated on you, if that person said something hateful to you, if that person lied to you or misled you, you're still going to have those issues, those mental issues, those emotional issues, those spiritual issues. So you getting payback, you getting revenge, you doing them like they did you. What do they say? You matching energy for energy. It doesn't heal you. That's the biggest issue, right? It's not that we're punks. It's not that we're wimps. It's not that we're pushovers. Even though in Christianity it does say turn the other cheek, right? It's not that we're even necessarily doing this for that sake. It's simply because this doesn't heal me. This doesn't help me move on. All this does is gives another example, another piece of negative energy out there into the universe. It just continues the cycle of hate. So what you have to do is identify why what this person said or did hurt you, and what you have to have, what kind of conversation you have to have with yourself to get over that, to understand that this was something that they were going through. This is their journey. This has nothing to do with you. The sooner you realize that what people say and do has nothing to do with you, it has everything to do with them, then you will be so much better off. I promise you, when I realized how many people didn't love themselves, so, and this is kind of getting off topic. If I find out that you don't love yourself, if I can draw the conclusion that you don't love yourself, why do I care how you feel about me? Think about it. If I don't love myself and I tell you that you're ugly, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're slow, you're lacking, why would you care from somebody who doesn't even love themselves? You should care the opinion of somebody who is in love with themselves, who has done the work on themselves, who's bettering themselves, who can't get it. Somebody like that, you should seek their opinion out all the time, right? But even still, you shouldn't, right? But if that I would understand. But when you find out someone doesn't love themselves, when you find out someone looks at themselves and they wish they were somebody else, you find out that somebody is dealing with a lot of mental, emotional, and spiritual problems, why do you care how they look at you? At the end of the day, it's a good thing if they don't like you. You don't love yourself and you don't like me, good. It's probably the reason you don't like me is because I'm an example of someone who does love themselves, who does respect themselves, who does do the work on themselves. And people like that who love themselves, who are healthy in their body, mind, spirit, and emotions, they try to make others healthy in their body, mind, spirit, and emotions. But that's a long roundabout way of saying that the reason that we love these stories, these movies, these songs, these quotes, these books, these mythologies of revenge, of vengeance, of payback, is because a lot of time in our personal life we are unable to do that, even though initially that's exactly what we all want to do. When somebody slaps you, you want to slap them back. When somebody curses you out, you want to curse them out back. When somebody embarrasses you, you want to embarrass them. But in our hindsight, in our growth, in our maturity, as my good friend at work always says, in our maturity, and in our maturity, we know that that is not going to help us move forward. That is not what an adult would do. That is not what a leader would do. That is not what someone who is mature would do, right? They would analyze the situation and find a way to heal without continuing the cycle of pain. So hopefully I answered your question. I know I almost did 10 hours to answer that question, but it was an awesome question. I love it. So guys, keep sending me the questions, keep tagging me in posts, keep DMing me, and I will continue to, respond to them as I can. All right, guys, I need you to take care of yourselves. Please be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.